Hey guys, and welcome to another free plugin Friday where we look at free plugins you can use in your productions. Now, I've previously looked at a plugin from Venn Audio called Free Clip, which is a great clipper plugin, really useful. Now we're looking at more of a utility plugin named Utility because it's a utility plugin called Utility. Yep. It's actually pretty cool. So we have it on the master bus just so I can show you what it does, but let's have a look at the features and actually go through what it can do sonically. There is a few sound things it can do. You have the plugin here. Cool. What you have is input and output meters. Great, very, very useful. I think they're just dBF meters. They've got little readouts here of where your peak levels are. You got your RMS here. You got your peak up the top. You know, everyone has meters, but it's always good to just have more meters. Can be really helpful. So that's them going. I'm not going to play the music the whole time so you can hear me speak. We have left and right pan. So you actually control each of the channels so you can pan the left and right anywhere. You have a different channels. So stereo is of course normal, but you can just hear the left. You can hear the right, dual mono swap. You have mute pad and a DC filter. You have a gain control. You have volume controls for left and right. You've got phase controls, well, phase buttons for left and right. You've got a pan control. You've got width, high pass filter, low pass filter, side and mid control, a hard clip and a soft clip. So that's a lot of things. Let's play with this music some more so you can see the meters and hear how these controls, you can use them in whatever context. So let's start off up here, right? Meters are going. Left pan. Right pan. Different modes. Left only. Right only. Very good for checking if there's anything weird going on. Dual mono, which is basically feeds it into mono, and you can control this with a balance. So just the left, just the right, in the middle. Very good to have a mono check as well to see if there's any phase issues. So very, very useful. And you can swap the channels. You can use those controls to do it, but swapping with this is great. So the mute, that's it. Pad puts a pad on. Very good if you want to just quickly check monitoring. Now I've got a control for that in Cubase, but not every DAW does. It just allows you to quickly listen to a lot quieter. You have a DC filter, which if you have DC coming through, that's going to help with that. You have a gain control. It's quite obvious. Now you've got even more stereo controls here. There's actually the volume of each. And phase, which is very good on stereo sources that might be out of phase for some reason. Obviously this isn't, so it's gonna sound odd, but you know, pan. And now you've got this section, which is actually very useful too. High pass filter. Low pass filter. You can track low end and stuff with that. A width control. Mono. Basically just sides. I don't think it's actually faking any width. It's just a kind of mid-side control. And double click obviously gets it back, which is great. And then you have mids and sides, so you can check. So just the mids. Just the sides. Both together. If you want a little bit more mono mix. If you want a little bit more width without using the width control, a bit more volume in the width. You just check your mids are also good phase for all the things you need. For example, sides in this track shouldn't have much low end. Not really any kick. A little bit of that bass. And the mids should have the kick and the snare pumping. So we get a wide mix. Then you've got this clipping. So we're going to drive it to see what this clipping does. That's just the limiter. The limiter is going to be doing stuff. The clipping, hard clipping, soft clipping. Anyway, let's bring that back down. So that's all there is to it, really. This has been a very short review. I kind of sped through it because it's pretty self-explanatory, but there's just a lot of cool features. Now, whether you have this in your monitoring chain, you just want to use it for monitoring things, you have it in your master bus like this for changing some stuff up, or you have it on a stereo or mono track to fix some issues. Like I said, you could fix that phase issue. So say someone's recorded stereo keyboards or something, one of those channels got flipped in phase for whatever reason. You can just flip the phase of one of the channels very easily. Now, it's not always easy to do in some DAWs. I know in Cubase, it can be a pain in the ass with an actual stereo track to actually just go back and forth and do it in real time. I think you can use like a process that flips one channel's phase, but that's actually a process that affects the audio rather than it, on plugin on top of it. Very good to have it there. And of course, the mid-side stuff is great if you're not using any other plugins. Now, I use a Infinity EQ and a few other plugins in Ozone when I'm mastering. But if you don't want to bring up those plugins, you have this here. You can just check what adding a little bit more width does or whatever. And on individual sources, and even on master, like you could just do 20 hertz and a 16 hertz low pass, 20 hertz high pass, or even a bit higher if you just want to take the edges off a little bit for whatever reason. And of course, if you're using on a track, you can then do some basic EQing stuff without having to grab an EQ plugin. And clipping on a master, just always a nice thing to have in addition, so you don't have to open up another plugin. So that's been utility. This has been a very, very short video. If you haven't gone and checked out the clipping one, which is free clip, that's like a 30-minute video. We go into a lot of detail about clipping. I think this has probably got similar algorithms in it. So if you're interested about the clipping side, go check out that. Another free plugin for Venn Audio. Go check out all the other free plugin Fridays and all my other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.